It's good to see everyone here today, and it is now time to call to order the City of Franklin City Commission. This is a regular call meeting, and I will ask Commissioner Herbert Williams to open us up with prayer.
Yes, let us pray. Heavenly Father, again we come to you, thanking you for your grace and your mercy. Father, we thank you for what you have done for us and what you will do. We just ask you to come into our community, not only in our community, but all communities where we have sick and shut-in people. Just have mercy on those. And then we ask you to bless our community. Keep us in the right path, doing what we need to do to make this city a better place to live. Father, these things we asked, and we also asked you to have mercy on the war that we have in with, not us, but the country that is having the problem with Russia. They are ruining the country. Shame how they're treating the families that have to move from their homes and places, the little children, that a lot of them die, Father. Just have mercy on them. And this come into our meeting today, give us the wisdom and the knowledge to do what's right for our community. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. I don't think we have anything under here, the public today. We'll move on to the approval of our March 14, 2022 regular meeting minutes. And I'm assuming everyone's had an opportunity to look over those. And any comments or questions?
I make the motion that we approve the minutes of the March 14th meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the March 14th meeting. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Powell. We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Stewart?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
My vote's a yes, and that motion carries. And we'll move on to general government, and that will be discussion and or possible action regarding proposed ordinance to rezone property located on North Street. And Scott, you want to bring us up to
Just
date?
very quickly, the P&Z held a hearing for this property and recommended rezoning. So we did, it would be proper to need an ordinance to get the property rezoned. We need two sponsors for the ordinance. Commissioner Powell,
Yeah.
Commissioner Bennett. Thank you all. We'll have first.
Okay, next, you want to go into the next? You have the next.
Sure, I'll go ahead and take that. The next topic is with regard to setting salaries for the mayor and the city commission. As you all see in the memo, it's been many years since any kind of a salary adjustment has been made. Under KRS 83A070, the deadline for increasing any kind of a salary for the commission is Monday, May the 2nd of this year. You can also see that the maximum amount which you can raise it by DLG is to $84,000 a year, which I know is ludicrous and ridiculous. So what we did was we took the COLA, the cost of living adjustment set by the Department of Local Government every year since the last raise was put into place, which was 2008. The maximum amount that you could take if you just calculated it based on cost of living alone would be $16,579.52 for commissioners and $33,159.06 for the mayor. And again, you could raise it higher than that, but that's just taking into effect the cost of living since the last raise went into effect. After discussing this among staff and some of the commission, I have put together an ordinance to adjust the salary of the commissioners to $15,000 a year, which is less than the COLA increases since the last raise, and the mayor to $30,000 a year. And that's in keeping with the current ratio of half and full for the mayor and the commissioners. Today it's 12 and 24. That makes it 15 and 30. So if the commission finds this in order, we do have to move pretty expeditiously to get this approved before May 2nd. And let me point out for the public and everybody else that these raises do not go into effect now at all. They do not affect this commission. The city commission cannot change their salaries while they are in their term of office. This will go into effect after the election for whomever is sitting in these seats come January 1st. So just to clarify that point. But if the commission deems it appropriate to go ahead and implement an increase effective January 1st of 2023, we'll need 2 sponsors for that ordinance. And the ordinance is in your packet. Forget me, I'm struggling to talk.
I will. I'll be one of the sponsors.
We've actually got 3 then. Powell, Stewart, Williams.
Okay,
And we'll
Scott,
have first reading at our hearing ordinance portion.
and I believe you have the next one too, Scott, if you
And
want
the
to.
hits just keep on coming. The next one, I'm gonna kind of defer to Kenton more than anything else. As some of you know, and we'll go into more detail, we have a little bit of a health issue with our current code enforcement officer. Because of that, we didn't really have a mechanism to have somebody fill in if he's out for health reasons or whatever. And so the ordinance allows you guys to appoint a duly authorized representative for him. Kenton, who's got too much on his plate anyway, but he's agreed to step in and help Kevin when he's, out for a while. So we would need a motion to authorize Kenton to act in his place when he's out of pocket due to health reasons.
So
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Williams, a second by Commissioner Powell. Is there any further discussion?
I just wanted to let the public know, and also the commission, as we typically go into the spring season and the grass, and it gets really more busy than most, that, we just want to be more proactive and be on top, that we don't have anything lapse. So we've discussed this among staff, I talked to the code enforcement officer, so this way we can just keep moving forward. So that's the reason behind it.
Ken, is there a time period on this that, it's just gonna be open-ended until?
For right now, it'll be open-ended for some time. Probably get us through the summer season, like I said, and we'll reevaluate it at that time.
Any further comment? If not, we have a motion and a second, and we'll take a vote. Commissioner Stewart?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
yes.
Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
My vote's a yes, and that motion carries. Okay, and we will now move on to discussion and a possible action regarding surplus property auction. And Kathy Dillard will bring us that information too.
Thank you, Mayor. We recently finalized our latest online surplus property auction. You can see the property that we auctioned online were some of the cars that were on the impound lot. I think given the condition of those vehicles, and the chief can attest to that, that we did pretty well with the ones that did sell. Just want to make sure that everyone knows that out of those sale proceeds, 85% of the proceeds go to the drug fund, and 15% go to the Prosecutors Advisory Council, who play a vital role in seizing these for drug-related crimes. I'd like to ask for a motion today to approve the sale of the surplus property and ratify the mayor's signature to transfer the titles to the sellers.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll
We have-
second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Powell, a second by Commissioner Bennett. We'll take a vote.
Mayor,
Commissioner
Let
Stewart?
me ask one question.
Sure, sure. Excuse me.
Chief, is that, these vehicles that's being surplus, will this clean out what we have in compound?
Cleaned out a healthy portion of it.
Okay.
We've got 3 in the impound lot that are case related.
Okay.
When I say case related, it's unsolved crimes. Can't get rid of them because they're evidence. We have 5 that would, two didn't sell this time, 3 other that are going through the court proceedings right now. But this took care of what, 10?
Yes.
10. So this took care of a healthy amount of it. So.
Yeah, we've got 3 that I think we'll scrap, and I
Yeah.
think if we scrap them, whatever we get, it's still the 85-15
Mhm.
split for the scrap value of those.
That'll get us down to 5.
Okay.
So, and we changed our policy a while back to increase the value for any intended forfeiture of a $5,000 value on the car before any officer can attempt to go for a forfeiture. That way, we would recoup. Because there's a lot of, over the time of the court cases and stuff, there's a lot of time involved in it, like going over to make sure we maintenance it. Because by law, it has to stay in the same condition it did when it entered the lot, so. So it wouldn't behoove us going forward. A lot of these are back from 2012 cases. So we hadn't done a asset forfeiture auction or anything for many, many years. So a lot of these cases, you know, we didn't get the value that we might have gotten back, 8, 10 years ago, so.
Okay. Any further questions? Any further comment? If not, we have a motion and a second. We'll take a vote.
My
Commissioner
vote
Stewart?
is- Mayor.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
My vote's a yes, and that motion carries. We'll move on down to discussion and or possible action regarding resolutions approving a comprehensive plan and a regional multi-hazard mitigation plan. And I think Tammy is here to bring us that information.
Well, I'm just going to introduce the next person. Mary Adams is a public administration specialist with the Marion River Area Development District. And Mary, along with several other staff members from Brad, have spent a lot of time in our community over the last year working with community leaders to develop a comprehensive plan and regional multi-hazard mitigation plan. And Mary is going to present that. And there are 2 resolutions, I believe, in your packet that we would like to ask for consideration today.
Thank you, Tammy. So, like Tammy said, we have been working for the past year with Simpson County, the county as a whole, and the city on updating 2 regional plans, so that have kind of encompassed also county level strategic plans. So that's what the commissioners have in front of them printed. There's also, the strategic plan is available online at planning.bradbradd.org. It'll always be kept on there updated. It's a 5-year plan, and so Brad is responsible for updating 2 regional plans. One is a FEMA regional hazard mitigation plan. You'll have a resolution before you to adopt the regional hazard mitigation plan, and that is what makes the city eligible for FEMA hazard mitigation grant funding for the next 5 years. So if you choose not to adopt it now, you can always go back and adopt it later, but there's an open grant for that program right now. So we highly recommend passing that one so that you are eligible for those grant funding. That program funds any mitigation-related project is funded through FEMA. It's a 13% local match, so it's a pretty good grant program. It will fund like safe rooms and things like that. And then the strategic plan is just a general strategic plan for Simpson County, and that would be the other resolution that you all have in front of you to just adopt that as a strategic plan for the next 5 years for the city. And both of those plans, so like I said, the county level plan is available at planning.brad.org, and then the hazard mitigation plan is not a printed document this time. It's all available online because a lot of it is maps and interactive data that we will keep updated throughout the 5-year cycle of this plan, so that it's a purely online plan, and it's available at hazard.brad.org. And that's a really good resource, not just for like your emergency manager uses it a lot, but also just for anyone that has good information about hazards that impact the county, and a whole bunch of other stuff, data about previous hazards and things like that. So, any questions?
I just want to comment. Tammy and I both were able to sit in on part of this, putting this together, and it was a lot of work went into it, and it was done very well, and I just want to thank to Brad too for the work and the efforts that they help put into this.
Well, we're happy to do it, and yeah, thank you all too. Like the mayor said, the mayor, Tammy, several others were really involved in creating that strategic plan, the goals and objectives that are in there throughout the last year. And it was a pretty intensive process, so they gave a lot of time to it, so.
And I mentioned to Kenton this morning that I don't know if you're aware, but we have hired a consultant to help us with our comprehensive plan to update that from the 2010, and I believe Kenton have you already sent this,
Yeah,
Kenton?
I think Tanya had already
Yeah.
forwarded that to EHI.
So it's EHI out of Lexington, Louisville offices, and we're going to send this for them to look at and, kind of incorporate this into our plan.
Awesome, yeah, very good. And one of the things about this is, just to note, is that it doesn't take the place of the comprehensive plan or anything, that's required by KRS 100, and this doesn't, touch land use planning or anything like that, so it's just kind of a strategic look towards the next 5 years, so it's good to have, for them to work together, so yeah,
Right,
that's awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
No. It's great information.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming and bringing presentation. We do need a motion, and the motion is to adopt resolution number B2022, adopting the county strategic plan, and resolution number C2022, and adopting the Barren River Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
So moved.
Okay, have a
I'll second
motion by
that.
Commissioner Bennett,
second.
second by Commissioner Stewart. We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Stewart?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
My vote's a yes, and that motion carries. And I don't believe we have anything under public services. We'll move on to public safety, and that's discussion and a possible action regarding a resolution approving submission of law enforcement protection project grant application. And Tammy, you gonna bring that forward to us?
I need to get the chief's input on this one, but, the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security for the last, several years, as long as I can remember, has offered a grant program to assist with outfitting our police officers, with some equipment. The top level of that being, body armor, or the protective vest that they wear. When they're issued a vest, those have a lifespan of 5 years, so the chief and his staff regularly check those to make sure they are within those dates, just to provide maximum safety for the officers. We currently have 11 vests that will need to be replaced within the next 11 months. And I'm working on an application to submit to the Office of Homeland Security, requesting funding assistance with the purchase of those 11 sets of body armor. The total project cost is estimated to be approximately $8,800, and Captain Mayfield is working to get quotes for me for those. We have to submit quotes from 3 different companies. The total amount of grant funds requested will be $7,315, as the program allows for a maximum reimbursement of $665 per vest. One of the requirements of the application is to have a resolution passed by the commission, and you'll find that in your packet. It's resolution Z-2022. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those or give those to Chief Solomon.
I have just a question, Chief. They said the lifespan is 5 years. What is it, what happens within the 5 year span that makes those, that part of it?
The fiber and the fabric inside that provides the quality protection breaks down over time due to just aging and sweat and
Right.
that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
They've always instituted a 5 year lifetime maximum lifespan for them. So we typically would always, this is the first time we've been able to apply for the grant, since 2018, 19, somewhere along there.
We applied in 19, and we received notification, like a month ago, that we had
Yes.
received funding for that. 2020 just really missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So
And
part of that was a changeover in a director too.
Right.
so.
Well, I'm glad we were able to possibly use the Homeland Security money to do this. And that's it. What do we normally do, in a rotating cycle? Do we have some money contingency plan to change these out, getting like that?
We
Just in,
typically
you know, 'cause I,
we
you know-
typically budget every year. It's a
Okay,
line
yeah,
item.
okay,
And
And
it's
we
usually-
have a comprehensive plan for all of our equipment replacement anyway, so
gotcha.
we kind of know exactly when whatever it is going to need to be replaced.
Just curious, what do you do with the old ones that you replace?
Just keep them up in the attic there. And if you, here's the reality, if, it's kind of, it's one of the things where, worst case scenario, if you don't have a vest for somebody that comes on, something's better than nothing, right?
Sure.
Like if you had them for a couple weeks, it's not ideal, you don't wanna put them out there, we try to stay on top of that, if we hire somebody and put them out there with a vest, but say your vest was 5 years and a month old and you put it up in the attic, it's not, you know, and you hired somebody 3 months after that, chances of it just being completely useless is not good, you know, so we wouldn't put somebody in a 10-year vest, obviously, but, you know, so you can use them, and then there's other things we can use them for, but typically, once they get past a certain shelf life.
They can't be
they're useless.
recycled at all?
Yeah, no.
No, okay. Okay. That's all I
I'll
have.
make that motion that we adopt Resolution D 2022, authorizing the submission of the application and upon approval to enter into the agreement and give the authority to the mayor to sign any and all documents which are needed.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bennett,
Second.
second by Commissioner Powell. Any further discussion or comment? Okay, we'll have a vote. Commissioner Stewart,
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett,
Yes,
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
My vote's a yes, and that motion carries. Okay, and we will now move on to utilities, and that will be discussion and a possible action regarding clean water, the Clean Water Program Grant, and Chris Clotter will come and speak with us on that. Thank you, Chris.
So I just wanted to come and kind of talk a little bit about this big
Check.
check over here. So it's from the Cleaner Water Fund allocations, which is part of a $1.3 billion Building a Better Kentucky plan. And this is for water and wastewater infrastructure, which we all know is much needed throughout the state. And these grants, just an FYI, they were allocated based on county population. So that is a set amount given the population. So what we did was, we had already submitted several of these projects to the Brad office prior for possible funding mechanisms. With this amount of money, we were able to select 3 of those projects that had already been approved through the Brad for funding, and I just want to kind of discuss what those projects were. 2 are water distribution projects, and 1 is a wastewater collections project. The first is a North Main Street water line replacement, and this would be replacement and upsizing of about 1,000 feet of 1.5-inch galvanized line on 31W. Be replacing it with a 6-inch line. This is the area in front of KFC, which feeds several restaurants and commercial buildings in the area. Right now, they're all being fed by an 1.5-inch galvanized line, so we're going to be replacing that with a 6-inch line. The second water project is Morgantown Road Water Line Project. It is replacing 3 existing parallel water lines. We have a 4-inch, 2-inch, and a 1-inch that are running parallel along Morgantown Road, all which are aging. So we're replacing that with 1 6-inch water line. Is that correct, Kenny?
Yes.
Along Morgantown Road. This project will eliminate 3 dead ends and will create a loop in the system in this area, which will give us better water quality. It will also eliminate the 3 old parallel lines, which will significantly reduce potential for water loss. So you'll have 1 water line instead of 3 water lines. 3 water lines give you 3 additional opportunities for water leaks. So we'll just have one line there. So that's the second project. The third project we're doing, we're wanting to do with the funds is manhole rehabilitation project. This project will rehabilitate rehabilitate approximately 125 manholes into the collection system. So just as an example, we have 1,400 manholes, and replacing those is quite expensive, and rehabbing those is quite expensive. So this will enable us to do 125, which in a normal year we might get 5 rehab. So that the funding will allow us to really accelerate that program in one year. And we're using all the flow monitoring that we're currently doing and all that to identify the areas that we need those replacement the most. So I just wanted to kind of update on what some of these funds would be, what all of those funds would be used for, so that y'all have an idea where that's going.
Chris, can you, I'm sorry,
No.
can you tell me, when you talk rehab, what exactly does that incur?
So it depends, but rehab can be as simple as grouting, where masking has come out in the joints of the barrel sections of the manhole, et cetera, where you have groundwater coming into the manhole. This is all in an effort to reduce our inflow and infiltration, but the newest, or a new technology that's being used quite often is, it's a two-part epoxy coating. They sit it down in the manhole, it sprays two-part epoxy coating on the manholes, and it is, so let's say you have a corroding manhole from hydrogen sulfide gas. When you spray this stuff, you can see demonstrations where they'll do this, and we've done several of our manholes already. If you were to take the entire concrete or brick away from that epoxy structure would still stand by itself. So that's a less expensive way of removing and replacing. But again, that depends on the condition of the manhole. We would do that in a large portion of the rehab. That's what we would do to prevent water from coming in. Then the other option is remove and replace. And at that point, you're just digging it out, putting in a brand new one that's completely sealed. The new concrete comes precast with hydrogen sulfide resistant concrete, so technology's better. But those are some of the options. I mean, there's several different ways to do it, but the rehab, we would assess the condition of the manholes that we're rehabbing and determine which option would be best for those manholes.
Go ahead.
First, I want to congratulate you. Thank you for all the work that you guys done in making this achievable for us. With the work that you're going to be doing, what's the timeline in some of this work that you're going to be planning?
So we're working on, the engineering's done for the 2 water projects. We are just now acquiring easements for those water projects. Scott's been working on that with our engineers on that. So the easements and the engineering's done. The manholes we're using are flow monitoring assessment. Now, I think, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have 4 years to spend that.
I don't.
Okay, I thought.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's another person in the
Okay.
office. I'm sorry.
But there's a time frame
Okay.
from start to finish, and I think it's 4 years. Carol, you may know.
I think so.
I think
It's
that's
the
right.
ARPA funding, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
You should have to.
Yeah.
So, now, the tricky question is when we're actually going to get the funds. There's a process to go through that we're in, and I'm not sure exactly when that is. I mean, we will, it's just a matter of.
You have to choose the right time of law.
But the challenge with that question is because we don't know how long the process before the money is actually in.
Sure.
And we want to make sure we
Why don't you
have.
take that to the bank and see if it's okay?
Sign back.
Yeah.
Chris, I just want to thank you and all others
Yes.
that have played a big part in helping to see this come about. I know that you've done a lot of work on it, and I'm sure all of you all have too. So we appreciate it, and it's good free money to help us do our improvements, and we're happy to get it.
Well, Chris, you might tell them, I mean, on the 31W project, you're planning on starting that in May, right?
That's right.
So that'll be done pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
you'll see them start tearing up ground down there in front of KFC and in front of Lamplighters Way and all that.
That's right.
In the back.
The other thing, Mayor and Commissioner, I want to tell you, Chris and the team has been working on this for months. It's just not that we've got the check and now we gotta figure out the way to spend it. So they have been talking back and forth with Brad and different things as far as how this money's gonna go. So a lot of times when you see the announcement, you get the check and we figure out how to spend it. There's several months in front of that.
Yep.
Working.
We want to use it wisely as we can, and that's what I was talking about with the manhole rehab. That's why this flow metering data that we're doing currently, we want to use that data instead of just throwing a dart and saying we need a manhole here and need a manhole here. We're using all of that data, and it takes a long time to gather that data.
So you do have a list of the ones that like are up for a rehab in the future?
We have 1,400 manholes in our GIS, all of which are rated by condition.
Okay.
But the flow monitoring will prioritize, we can't replace all 1,400.
Right.
So the flow monitoring will prioritize
Okay.
based on the condition in our GIS and where the most inflow is coming into our system. Which of those we identify as the 125 we replace.
The gentleman that we contracted, for, to help us with determine, our infrastructure, what needed to be fixed, and with the infiltration system and stuff that you were discussing back when it flooded, down on Main Street, for instance. Was he helpful with this, or was this totally different?
I think you're talking barge with flow line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, the
Yeah.
flow monitoring, that's ongoing right now.
So I guess I'm trying to get back to that particular location. Is that anything that he's updated us on, to,
You talking about the Main Street?
yes?
Okay, so that gets, that, and again, I don't want to get into all of that, but that gets extremely complicated. Because inflow and infiltration, we're going to focus on the areas that have the most inflow and infiltration. As you reduce the inflow and infiltration at those locations, we may even find that location doesn't need rehab. We will see based on the information we gather. We're not there yet to make that determination.
Good,
Makes sense.
okay, yeah.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that good report. Thank you.
Chris.
Okay, we'll move on to ordinances, and Miss Kathy Dillard will take those for us, and I believe you're going to get another good workout today, Kathy.
I think you're right, Mayor. Thank you. We'll have second summary reading today of ordinance number 2022-008, an ordinance rezoning land located on the east side of Harding Road and the south side of Macedonia Road as follows. Approximately 36.61 acres from AG Agricultural to R1S Single Family Residential based upon a recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission from a petition filed by Caliber Contracting LLC. I will need a first and second motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Powell, motion by Commissioner Bennett, and we'll have a roll call vote on that one.
Commissioner Stewart,
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett,
Yes,
Mayor Dixon,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
and Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
That ordinance passes unanimously. We'll move on into second summary reading of ordinance number 2022-009, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021, and ending June 30, 2022, by estimating revenues and appropriations. I will read the total change in fund balance for only the funds that had a change. Total revenue change in funds on general fund is $10,235,586. No change on stormwater. Utility fund amended to $5,676,869. And then no changes for sanitation, municipal aid, cemetery, and perpetual care on revenues. Total appropriations, change in fund for general fund amended to $9,626,523. Stormwater fund amended to $265,976. Utility fund amended to $5,601,189, and no change to sanitation or municipal aid. Cemetery fund amended to $218,702. And I will need a first and second motion for approval on that
so
one.
moved.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Bennett,
I second that.
second by Commissioner Stewart, and we'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Stewart,
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett,
Yes.
Mayor Dixon,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Powell,
Yes.
and that ordinance also passes unanimously. We'll move on and do second summary reading of ordinance number 2022-010, an ordinance of the City of Franklin, Kentucky approving an interlocal cooperation agreement for the placement, operation, and maintenance of a radio communication system and tower for the City of Franklin and Simpson County, Kentucky. I will need a first and second motion, please.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Powell,
Second.
second by Commissioner Williams, and that will be a roll call vote.
Commissioner Stewart?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
And that ordinance passes unanimously. We'll do first summary reading of ordinance number 2022-012, an ordinance setting the salaries of the mayor and members of the city commission. And then we'll go on and do, I'm sorry, first summary reading of ordinance number 2022-013, an ordinance rezoning land located on the north side of North Street as follows. Approximately 14.27 acres from I-1 light industrial to R1S single family residential, and approximately 72.18 acres from I-2 heavy industrial to R1S single family residential, based upon a recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission from a petition filed by the Merle R. and Ruth M. Hammonds Trust. This concludes first and/or second summary reading of these ordinances. The full text is available at City Hall at the office of the city clerk during normal business hours and will be available on the city's website upon passage and publication.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much. There will be we have no executive session today, so we'll move on into city attorney reports.
No, we can cancel the executive session. We kind of felt
Yeah.
like the last few meetings, we've held you all here for 3, 4, 5 hours. We try to get through this one quick today, so. I have no report either.
Okay. How about city manager report?
Just one thing that, I don't know if all you know, but our local government channel is functioning now.
Yay.
It's been down for months. I have to thank Rita and Bruce from Comcast and getting that working through. I mean, not for Cornerstone, Comcast is almost been worthless, but anyway, we found a lot of finger pointing, but we finally got the consultant there's a radio box. We found the engineer, and he basically come last week, got it fixed, back online, and if you notice the resolution and clarity, it was probably the most it's ever been. I'm ecstatic, and like I said, I apologize to the public for the delay, but it wasn't from the action, it's just from who we were working with, so, apologize for that, but anyway, I think that you can kind of pass that word along, it looks good.
Thank you, Kenton. I think that's going to make a lot of people happy too, so that's a good report. We'll move on to city commission reports, and Commissioner Stewart.
Mayor, I don't have anything particular. I just want to echo what Kenton was just talking about. I guess we all probably could. I received a phone call before I left from someone who wanted me to extend their appreciation for being able to bring that channel up to where it was visible and all the audio and all of it is in place now. They were extremely happy. Just wanted me to thank everybody that had any part to make that happen so that they could continue to watch these meetings and anything else that channel offers. So, job well done.
Thank you, Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bennett?
I echo that. I've had several phone calls about that myself, so.
I would just like to say that Rick Hunt passed away, and I think it would be appropriate that we offer our condolences to him and his family. I would remember them. And Commissioner Williams?
No, I don't have anything, Mayor.
Commissioner Powell?
I echo that, and I'd also like to add the Bear Stanley family. I'm sure
Yes.
most of them, I remember,
Yes.
probably best running back Franklin ever had. So
That's true, James.
just like to echo my condolences to them also. And with that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to adjourn by Commissioner Powell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Oh, sorry,
Commissioner Williams.
Commissioner Williams, sorry. I think I heard Commissioner Williams first. Second by Commissioner Williams. All in favor, aye? Aye. Okay, any opposition? We now stand adjourned.